Stations, a poem by Charles Franklyn Beach. 1. Jesus condemned to death. What do you say for yourself? Don't you know that I have power to save, to condemn? Will you not defend yourself? What defense can I give if the judgment has already been engraved on these stones? The power you have, my Father gave. It is my duty to honor my Father. I find nothing to condemn this man. I wish I could let you go, but the mob, they make so much noise. They are always on the verge of rebellion against authority. What is the point of saving one man and losing the whole nation? And I could lose my job, my life. No, as much as it pains me, I have no other choice. Take him away. Give him death. 2. Jesus bears the cross. Look, the proud king stoops beneath the simple weight of that wood. King of the righteous people indeed. If he were truly king, the enemy would never have brought him so low. He would never have surrendered his will to foreign implements. He would instead have ridden in triumph, commander of a victorious army, to free us from the pagan vermin who impose their immorality and their taxes on us. I guess we'll have to keep looking for the real chosen one. Who's next? Father, I feel the weight on my shoulders. Not merely the weight of this wood, but the weight of the human condition. Father, help me. The road ahead seems so long, the hill so steep. 3. Jesus Falls. Any healthy man could bear that burden. There must be something wrong if such a man as this, a carpenter, cannot walk without stumbling. Look, there he goes down for the count. What a pathetic sight. The soldiers stand around laughing as the king of the righteous people, who cannot ascend even this slight slope without falling. Father, give me strength. I cannot bear this alone. It isn't the crowd, Father. I have never heard their voice above your own call to obedience. I know now what it means to be human, to fall and bleed and suffer pain. I now know why I must complete this labor you have set me to do. 4. Jesus meets his mother. My son, here, let me give you something cool to drink. Oh, if I could only take your place. If I could only have chosen a different path for you. But I've known all your life that God's ways are beyond my comprehension. I was young and unwed when the angel brought me word of the unthinkable possibility that the Father had chosen. Me, young and unwed, faithful and devout, yet unlearned in such great matters. I only knew to choose obedience, though I did not then understand the shame, the pain that being your mother would involve. I would not have chosen any differently, even if I had known then what I know now. But it is a hard road our Father has set before you. Here, drink this cool wine. Rest a while, if you may. Mother, I know this pains you more than I can imagine. What must it be like to be a mother watching her firstborn walk this fatal road to a certain and foreknown death? If it were the Father's will, I would spare you this pain. Mother, I thank you for your faithfulness. Even when the others ran, you remained, not simply out of duty or habit. Blessed are you, blessed indeed. 5. Jesus is helped by Simon. I am a stranger here. I came for Passover, came a long, tiresome way from my home across the sea. Then came this procession, several men being escorted out of the city, each bearing the cruel pagan sign upon his back. One fell in front of me. I, being nearest, I was told to carry the disgrace for him. He was a simple man. Nothing particular about him suggested either virtue or vice. But when I looked into his bloodied, beaten face, I saw only forgiveness. I can't explain it. It's a mystery no mere words could tell. I knew then this man had done nothing to deserve this fate, yet he never complained. I braced myself for the full weight on my back, but it somehow didn't seem to be a burden. I could only see the image of his face before me. This stranger, this celebrating pilgrim, stepped forward under command to carry the sign of my dying for me. I thank you, Father, for giving me relief. For each trial, you provide a means of resolution. That is what you planned me to accomplish today. And even as I walk toward that end, you have not forgotten me. You have given me help along the way. This man who obeys your command. May this stranger be blessed by you, my Father. 6. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. I could bear it no longer. The face I love beyond all faces, though it has no beauty in itself, its beauty coming from the man whose it is. That face was covered in blood, blood from the spiked crown forced upon his head, blood from the many small cuts and punches. Sometimes the whipcords missed his shoulders, snaking around to strike his brow, his cheeks. Yet I did not hear him cry out in complaint. I know I could never have maintained that peaceful silence had I been in his place. So I stepped forward between the soldiers, and I gently wiped the blood, gently soothed his bruised skin. Never have my hands so skilled in healing and tending the sick. Never have they been employed in a more necessary task, though some might call it pointless, since he was on his way to die. But soon coming death is not present death, and his pain spiked deep into my soul. A woman I have known but briefly. She walks forward, touching a white linen dampened to my face. Someone tells her it is no use, I'm only going to die. But she simply smiles and says, perhaps. It is difficult for me to endure her touch, for every inch of skin has become weary with the strain of this necessary day. But I sense love in her work, so I allow her to continue. For as with any gift we give another, the giving heals the giver more than the gift the receiver. 7. Jesus falls a second time. There, down he goes again, and that stranger's carrying the cross this time. Some king of the righteous people he would have been, if we had let him live. Imagine what would happen when we faced the wrath of the enemy's best troops. See what strength this chosen one has when he's merely surrounded by a few dozen soldiers, and them hardly the finest. If this all weren't so entertaining, I'd go straight home and start planning for the coming of the next real chosen one. Father, what can it be now? You gave me help with the cross, but my feet still fail me. The road seems no shorter than before. The city gate, oh, how far in the distance. But we've been through all this before last night when I asked you 3 times to release me from my solemn promise of obedience. But I knew even as I asked that you still called me to obey, to surrender my desires to yours. Many would call that illogical. But I know you see beyond this physical moment. You see the result my obedience will have on your children, on your creation, as well as on what would happen if I fail you. I will not fail. I have promised obedience, and I will keep my word, though it kills me. 8. Jesus consoles the women of Jerusalem. We cry, we cannot help it. This man does not deserve this cruel end. He healed our sick. He fed us with food and with truth. He blessed our children. The other chosen ones, they always seek to repay pagan wrongs with righteous steel. This man sought to change hearts. This man sought only to share his Father. Why can't anyone else see that? Have we all become so blind that we cannot accept anything but the priest's word against God's? Have we chosen to run in mobs following after serpents sounding like soothing men instead of waiting for the quiet voice in which this man speaks? We cry for him, but we also cry for the blindness we have chosen. Women, I hear your voices of sorrow. But if you could only see what my Father sees, what I can see, the joy that shall follow this afternoon of your mourning, then you will sorrow not for me, but only for those who still reject their Father's love, their Father's forgiveness, their Father's open arms. Do not weep for long. Look instead for the coming day when graves will stand empty and all life will be restored to those sleeping in God's arms, in God's care. 9. Jesus falls a third time. Ha! Again he falls. Again he rises slowly, and then only with the help of several men who rush forward to lift him, none too gently, from the ground. He's not long for this earth. At this rate, he may be dead long before the first spikes hammered in. Father, I have fallen again. I fail in my failing strength to move forward toward that goal you have set before me. But again, you have provided a way, strong arms, strong backs, and shoulders to lift me from these hard stones. May you continue to support me in this dark journey. 10. Jesus stripped of his garments. We have reached this fatal spot, man. Here, you must shed everything you carry, for you will have no need of clothing where we are soon going to be placing you. This is good material, too good to rend apart, so each of us may have a piece. So we shall throw the dice to see who shall capture this lucky prize, the fine garment of the righteous man. Sure, there's a little blood on it, but with a little soaking, perhaps a slight trim, it'll be as good as new. Father, I stand before the people, naked as when I entered this world, reduced at the end of my work here to the simple condition in which I joined my divine nature to human flesh. And this flesh is weak, having fallen 3 times, having lost blood and sleep during the past hour's conflict. I have nothing to shield me now. I stand before them as you would have me. There's no turning back now. I must fulfill your command, with only this human form to use. And I know that in the coming days, even my closest friends will deny my nakedness, afraid of the full reality of my shame, wishing to preserve for me some dignity I surrendered to you last night in the garden. 11. Jesus nailed to the cross. Lie down here. Spread your arms like this. This won't hurt. Not much, anyway. Well, it won't hurt me any. Care for any sour wine to take away some of that pain? No? Then you're braver than most. Your fellow criminals drank plenty, believe me. Oh well. There's no sense forcing you to drink if you don't want to. Father, the pain. The pain. Nothing you could do would have prepared me for the sharp, deep, harsh, pulsing, pounding pain of the 3 spikes through my wrists, through my feet. Pain! Then the cross lifted and set in the hole already prepared. Father, 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 please forgive them. They do not know, as you and I do, the consequence of their actions. The sudden downward pull as the earth makes its demand upon my body and I can barely breathe and barely give my beloved mother to the care of John, the faithful one, he who would not let me out of his sight. The earth continues to draw me downward. Death is stalking my spirit. I thirst. I cry out to you, Father. Why have you abandoned me? The weight of the human sin upon my soul, it is more than I expected. If I had known the pain, I do not know if I could have faced my necessary obedience. 12. Jesus dies on the cross. The men dying beside me began by mocking me, even at the end ridiculing me who loved them more than they would know. But one changed his mind. Forgive me, he said. You have done nothing to deserve what we all share. I replied in gasping breath, Today you shall join me in my Father's presence. Then I knew my time was near. I had been given that much time so that one more last soul could find his way to its loving Father. It was finished. It is finished. The work I had to do. Father, into your hands I surrender my spirit. Take me as you will. And then he died. I have never seen any man go so quickly, so peacefully to his doom. Most of the wretches scream and gnash their teeth. They take days to count out their final suffering. That's the whole point of this execution, to make the criminals feel every inch of pain they've caused their leaders, their people, their God. Maybe there's something to what they say this man claimed to be. Maybe he was the Son of God. 13. Jesus taken down from the cross. I arrived late. The crowd so thick I was trapped beside the city when I longed to stand nearby, praying that God would intervene and deliver his chosen one from this unnecessary demise. I tore at my clothes. Why could God not hear my prayers? Why did he allow such a good man to suffer such a brutal death? All this man had done was to live in complete obedience to his Father. But my prayers went unheeded. He gave a great shout, then another, and then it was over. Just like that. The soldier certified that by piercing the man's side with a spear. The blood was mixed with water, certain sign of death. We've seen enough men die this way in recent years. We know the signs well. So they started to lower the cross to remove this man's empty form. There was nothing to do then but to go home and wonder why God had not saved the man who lived the most perfect life among us. 14. Jesus laid in the tomb. I came to that fatal place, bearing sealed documents from the governor, giving me custody of my teacher's body. I knew the risk I was taking in stepping forward and claiming the remnants of a man both church and state had sought to destroy, lest he tear them both down. But I could do no other. I had an empty place, after all, and I knew that, whatever happened, I wanted to keep my teacher near me. Even in death, I couldn't let him go. My wife said I was crazy, but I went ahead with my plan. So I arrived there to find he was already dead. I only wished I could have done more. My wife and some other women gave him a few spices and perfumes. No time for a decent embalming, for we had to cease our labors before sunset. Tomorrow is a holy day, after all. I only wish I could have done more. Burial seems such an empty act compared to the life he shared among us. But burial was enough. He was safe in my enclosed garden, safe from any who would desecrate him out of vengeance or spite. Yes, he was safe, awaiting with my ancestors the day of promised resurrection.